Hello. This dirty trucking. Just walked in. Downtown Detroit is still jumping. We got the Jazz Festival going on here. But this video, I saw somebody today, just a minute ago, standing in line waiting to go to a restaurant downtown Detroit. And y'all know I've been on here talking about Warren Truck Plant and what the fuck they did to me. And this individual resembled the guy that told that motherfucking lie on me. Set me up with labor relations and got me put off my job. He lied on me. And I'm driving downtown trying to get to that party store because I needed some ranch dressing. Couldn't get to it because it was too crowded. But while I'm at the light, I see a light-skinned dude, got locks. Look at his face. He looked like this motherfucker that told that light, used to work at Warren Truck with me. The motherfucker used to be a friend. This the motherfucker that told that lie on me. Talk about I was harassing him. Had labor relations, calling my home. Put me off my job. The union told me I need to go see a doctor and get on medication because of this motherfucker. And he better thank God that a Detroit police officer was standing up against that building, because that officer looked at me when I saw him. I'm looking, and I mean, he is striking resemblance of it. But see, I got to be careful with that, because they've been going around here playing some little game with me, bringing people around me that resemble people I knew that may have done me harm, or I just knew in general. And I mean, but he bears a goddamn striking resemblance of this motherfucking bitch that told it lie on me. Supposed to have been my friend. Told the labor relations I was harassing him, and I hadn't done a motherfucking thing. The only thing I done at the time when they put me off my job was nothing. Not a damn thing. I hadn't done nothing. They pulled me off my job, walked me to the EAP rep, where this man told me I had to go see the doctor to save my job. Because of something somebody said up in there, and it was him. So I see this motherfucker downtown. I'm at the light. I'm looking. I see this girl in line. She looking at my eyes. She seen the way I was looking at him. That officer saw me look. He better thank God that that officer was there. You know, I'm not a violent person, but I have violent thoughts. And you know I can express my anger very well. Have you seen in several motherfucking videos? You know, while I'm at that light waiting for it to change green for me to turn, I had to dial back myself. You know, everybody, even girls got little gangster thug in them. But that shit that they did to me at Warren Truck Plant, oh, that gangster's still in me. He better thank God DPD was standing there at that building, because had that been that motherfucker, I don't know what I would have done. I'm looking at this dude. The officer looked at me, and I'm looking at him. He looked just like that motherfucker. If I had half a mind, I should have called his name out at the light to see if he turned the fuck around. Then I'd have known that was him. This motherfucker told that lie on me, talking about I was harassing him. You downtown in line, out with I don't know who, trying to enjoy your motherfucking dinner and shit, while you fucked my life up over that motherfucking line. Let me tell you what this motherfucker did. This the motherfucker when the plant told that lie, said I was harassing him. And then after I got put off my job, he showed up in my motherfucking house with his friend, playing like he was all concerned. I questioned him about what Warren Truck Plant said he done. He stood there in my house in front of his friend and said Warren Truck Plant lied on him. He didn't say that. He said the plant did it. He said the plant did it. All that shit that happened to me, that I was accused of, he said the plant did it. But according to labor relations in that phone call, I remember her words exceptionally well. I remember what I was doing that day. Just came home. I was put off my job. Don't know why. Angry. I just come back from the grocery store. I see a call on my landline. That's back when we had landline. Cell phones was just basically coming out. They were still that brick style. People still had pagers. I see a call from this motherfucker on my phone. My landline. Because you had caller ID. That was out then. So I returned the phone call. See what he wanted. Because at the time I was off, I had no idea that he was the one responsible for that fucking shit. Motherfucking Mario. That's that motherfucking bitch name. I ain't gonna give you his last name. But I give you his first name. Because the motherfucker fuck over me. Oh, I'm gonna tell you your fucking name. His name was Mario. Little young motherfucker. Light-skinned, barely came to work. The plant was looking to fire his motherfucking ass. They used to get me to try to call him and tell him he better bring his ass to work because they was going to fire him. Little young motherfucker. And I have no idea why he said this shit about me. And you know what, you can tell I'm pacing the floor right now because I'm dialing myself back. I'm trying not to go talk gangster thuggish. I'm trying to still act like a lady making this fucking video about this sorry motherfucker. I don't know why he did that shit. I don't know how he could do that shit. To walk around that plant and said that shit about me and I was his friend. Only thing I ever did. Because I saw our relationship, it got messed up. I called to try to invite him to dinner to the house. Try to talk through this because we still got to work at the plant. Well, what's happening here? You done already denied what the plant said, what I'm hearing from labor relations that you said. Now, this was from labor relations. Oh, let me get back to the phone call. When I called the number back, it was his number on my landline. I called the number back. And I'm wondering why this lady answered the phone. Said her name was Rebecca. This is her exact words when I answered the phone. When she answered the phone. Hey, this is Rebecca. This is labor relations. This is a harassment matter. And you're not to call this individual anymore. Motherfucker, what? What? And I didn't find out until years later by somebody who used to work at the plant. It's a white dude. I was riding around on the smart bus with a friend of mine I used to work with when I used to drive the bus. He was driving Gratiot. This white dude got on, overheard my conversation with him. I was talking about the details of the stuff that happened to me at Chrysler, and he overheard it. And he kind of butt in. He said, that was you? Yeah. He said, I was in the office that day when that phone call took place. I said, yeah. And you know what he told me? He said, they set you up. Set me up? What are you talking about? He said, they set you up. Told me that Mario came up there to labor relations They placed that phone call to my home deliberately because they knew I was going to call it back when I saw his number. And when I called it back, Labor Relations Rebecca answered the phone. It told me this was a harassment matter. They were involved and not to contact him anymore. So I'm standing there dumbfounded because one, I'm already been put off my job about some shit and I don't even know what the fuck going on. I just walked in from the grocery store. I see this motherfucker and call me. So that further lets you know the extent and the length that Warren Truck Plant went to set my motherfucking ass up over a lie that bastard told. And when I saw that dude down there, I don't know if that was him or not, but he was a striking motherfucking resemblance. And he better be damn lucky. DPD was all over that area. And it was an officer linked up against the building. And when this lookalike walked in my eyesight the way I saw him, that officer saw my eyes, and he saw the way my eyes was looking. Because I'm doing like this. You know, when you look at a motherfucker like this and you rubbing on your chin, that means something. Most don't know that. But that means something. When you staring a motherfucker down, you looking like this. And you rubbing your motherfucking chin. That means something. That officer peeped that. I should have just called his motherfucking name out just for GP. See if that motherfucker turned around. So now I know what you look like. Because I ain't seen that motherfucker since they put me out the goddamn plant. They walked me out that plant in 2004. I ain't seen that motherfucker since. I don't even know what the fuck he looked like. All I know, he was shorter than me. And he was walking around the plant, calling himself trying to wear locks back in the day. When I last saw him. He used to keep his hair braided, had a head full of hair. Light-skinned and short little motherfucker. Way younger than me. My friend. So this white dude done told me that they set me up and then told me the details of this shit. Now I got my court case, you know, I done told him about the court case, how it got dismissed and all this other shit. And I find out this detail. And you know, and when I think back on that phone call, it never dawned on me that it was a setup. And let me tell you why it was a setup. And Rebecca was wrong for that goddamn shit. Because one, why was you answering his personal cell phone? That was Mario's cell phone that he called my landline with. He called my home landline with his cell phone number. But Labor Relations was answering his cell phone. Now, I'm off work. They done put me off my job. I'm still trying to get the details of what the fuck going on here. All I'm hearing is harassment. And it wasn't until she answered the phone that I knew it had something. Now I know it had something to do with Mario. Something he done. But I'm still wondering why her motherfucking ass was answering his personal cell phone. One, that's not a company provided phone. Warren Truck Plant didn't provide any of their workers cell phones. And two, Labor Relations is upstairs. They not down there on the line. Mario worked down there on the line with me. So for her to answer his phone, you had to be upstairs in Labor Relations office. So now I'm putting two and two together in an equal setup. Warren Truck Plant, Rebecca. Now, what I need to know to pinpoint who was responsible for the phone call. Because it's that individual, both of them at fault here. But the one that dialed the motherfucking number, because you didn't leave no message. They just dialed my phone so it'd call up on caller ID. These bitches was slick with that shit. They called my phone so it could show up on caller ID because they knew I was going to call it back. But when I called it back, Rebecca tried to make it seem like I was harassing somebody when I was actually returning a phone call that between the two of them made to my motherfucking home while they had me off work on a cold 31. For some lie this bitch done told. And they believed it. So, what I need to know is which one of them bastards dialed my phone number so it can call up on my caller ID, show up on my caller ID. Who was it? Was it Mario or was it Rebecca? Who dialed the phone? Because you didn't leave no message. You intentionally and deliberately dialed my phone because you knew I was going to return the phone call. So you were sitting there waiting for me to return the phone call and hoping I would do it during business hours while your motherfucking ass was still up in the office. And when I returned the phone call, Mario never answered the phone. It was Rebecca immediately. So the white dude tells me that he was in the office and they set me up. They called my home. And then when I called back, I don't remember if he said that Mario handed the phone to Rebecca or if she already had the phone. But this all took place up in labor relations. And he told me they set me up. Rebecca and Mario set me up. Now I'm downtown just driving and as angry as I am at what Warren Truck Plant did, what the fuck they got. You think I'm lying about this shit? I ain't lying about none of it. Oh, what's the most shit he did? How do you accuse me of harassing you? Then the motherfucker went out to Macomb County because during the lawsuit, this how I found out that he had attempted to take out a personal protective order. I found it out because of the lawsuit. Warren Truck Plant never told me none of that. But I found out reading the inner office emails, but that it was Warren Truck Plant that told him to do that. Now, I don't know if they told him that to see if he was credible, not lying, to corroborate his story. Because them some serious allegations saying somebody was harassing you, but the plant was talking about I was crazy. I found that out about the PPO during the lawsuit. Warren Truck never told me that. Warren Truck, how do you get put off your job and no paperwork? I kept asking for paperwork. They kept telling me to go to the local hall. I go to the local hall, they tell me there ain't no paperwork. We ain't got no paperwork. How do you put me off on a medical and you don't have no paperwork? But it was Mario. Mario was supposed to be involved with this shit. Then motherfucker showed up at my house like he was all concerned. How do you attempt to take... Now, mind you, the PPO was denied the same day he tried to take it out. But get this, I've been telling you about all this switching and shit documents. Now, since that lawsuit in these years and transpired, that document has changed wording. But when I first got it and read it, the stuff that was written in there didn't sound like it was written by Mario. It sounded like it was written by a doctor. It sounded like whoever wrote that PPO was a doctor and it wasn't Mario because of the wording in it. Mario don't talk like that. But I saw this motherfucker down there. And I'm sitting there at the light. That officer glanced at my eyes. The girl that was standing in line where he was glanced at my eyes. Only one that ain't glanced at my eyes is this motherfucker. Because he walked and turned his back to me and started talking to the security of the restaurant there. I don't know if this was him or not, but you sure look like that motherfucker. And I'm letting you know now, Mario. You know what you did. You know you a liar. You and Warren Truck need to be held accountable for that shit. I don't give a fuck if I got to draw up a list of names and walk that bitch to the president. Warren Truck Plant gonna pay for this shit. You don't do this shit to nobody. You get away with that motherfucking shit. Think I'm gonna walk around here the rest of my motherfucking life paying bills that I shouldn't have had, trying to get my life back together over this shit that y'all said. This the plant. This Warren Truck Plant. This motherfucking Mario fucking lied on me. Them bitches set me up. And they got away with this shit. And all this shit I'm telling you, I done told other people. But did they do anything? No. That's why I want to generate a list of motherfuckers I went to for help over the years. Told this same story to. Ain't nobody do shit. You let that motherfucker tell that lie on me and got away with that shit. And I saw her looking like downtown. What are you doing? Trying to drudge up bad memories? What, you thought I was going to jump out the car and attack that bitch? No, that was the thought in my head when he did that shit. When I realized it was him responsible for that shit. No, that's a thought. I ain't a violent person. Less provoked. But I do got violent thoughts. And I do imagine violent tendencies. I'm just putting that out there. Just letting you know. I saw somebody look like Mario. And I'm sitting back here dialing myself back because I can't let that shit go. I guess the officers thought I was going to jump out and cause a scene. You're going to put some handcuffs on me because I done saw this bitch. No. In due time, Mario, you and Warren Truck gonna pay for this shit.